Hi there, I'm Rory Auskerry from the Route 66 radio show. Every Sunday on UK radio in Stockport, Greater Manchester, we do 2 hours of the very best in rock and blues music. And last week on the show, we had a rock legend on for an interview. Glenn Hughes, who's played an integral part in bands including Deep Purple and Trapeze, Black Country Communion with Joe Bonamassa and Jason Bonham, of course, and more recently, California Breed. He was on for an interview with myself. You can listen to us every Sunday via rockinjockin.com. Links on there, and we're on Mixcloud as well, so you can listen back anytime you fancy. Let's get into this then, the interview with Glenn Hughes from Deep Purple. I started off by asking him what it's like being back on the road again.
Well, it feels wonderful because, with Communion and California Breed breaking through in Europe and America, it's important for me to get back to my solo career. And, of course, bringing Doug Aldrich with me, my dear friend, and Dio and Whitesnake guitar player, it adds a little bit of sauce to the show. So we're really excited to come back to my homeland and play this tour.
And we can't talk to Glenn Hughes without mentioning Deep Purple, of course. I mean, Burn is one of those tracks, we're going to play it in a while, Burn's one of those tracks that it'll still be a great piece of rock music in 100 years' time. What would you say is your best musical creation? I know that's probably quite a tricky one, but what are you most proud of?
I think Trapeze before Deep Purple, because I was only a teenager, and those albums signified who I was as a writer. And we had, a really considerable amount of success in America when I was a teenager, So I think it was before all the real big stuff happened. I think it was what got me to that point was the thing that really excited me the most.
And in terms of advice to young musicians, I mean, you've done it all. You've been around for a long time. You've played in a lot of bands with a lot of different people. Fairly well documented, had some issues in your life with the excesses that quite often come hand in hand with a rock and roll lifestyle. What advice would you give to the next generation?
Live it, breathe it, smell it, act it. Music is given to the chosen. Music is given to the chosen that want to carry the message. It comes when you're preteen, 12, maybe 13, and then it's like sports. You get a gift to do something. A lot of people walk away from it when they're young. They stay with it and they become part of it, and they live it and breathe it and sleep with their instruments. If you're supposed to be a musician, you'll know very, very early on in your life.
We're going to play a track next, Glenn, from California Breed. Midnight Oil's one of my favourites from that superb album.
Thank you.
It really rocks. It's a great vocal as well. Was it a fun album to do?
It was a real fun album to do. The album kind of wrote itself. We wrote the album in about 3 weeks in my home studio. Then we went to Nashville and we made the album in like 2 weeks. I like to record live. I've been recording live ever since I started working with Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers about 15 years ago. I don't like to do the Pro Tools thing. I really like to play as live as possible because it adds that extra positivity and energy to the songs.
Superb stuff, great rock music from California Breed, featuring, of course, Glenn Hughes, who's on the show with us tonight. Glenn, before California Breed, you only did one album with them. There was 3 albums with yourself and Black Country Communion.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you get bored easily, or do you just like new challenges of working with new people? What's the reason behind all these different projects over recent years?
Well, I think it's very well known, the fact that Black Country Communion, we did 3 albums. with his dirty shows. Unfortunately, Joe, didn't want to stop playing his solo work, which was understandable. But we thought, as a band, we would continue to play live, and we didn't. Hence the breakup of a band. As you know, today, in today's rock and roll, you've got to play live. So that's when I sort of left the band and formed California Breeze. And something went wrong there. Jason didn't particularly want to tour. So it's the obvious, easier, softer option for me at this point is to continue as a solo artist in my band and be free 365 days a year to do exactly what I need to do. And that really is all about playing globally now, playing as many shows as possible for the next 7, 8, 9, 10 years. I've been playing music in the studio forever, and now it's time to research and get back and playing live.
I mean, a lot of the artists that we've spoken to on this show say that that's really the way the industry's gone now, is that's where the money is to be made, is the live shows, because people buying albums just isn't the same commercial enterprise that it used to be.
No, this may sound strange to you, but I really don't do it for the money. I really do it because it centers me. I think music is generally the healer. Today, as we live in a world of terrorism and kidnappings and blah, 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 I think music is a central, common denominator for healing and love, So, I love to do what I do. And playing live to me has always been the missing ingredient for me. And I really, really miss it and want to get back to it.
And what are you going to do next? I mean, you mentioned touring for the next few years. What's next on the horizon? Have you got another collaboration in mind for another album?
I'm working with Billy Ray Cyrus on a TV show in America, Miley's Father. I've sung the title track to his TV series with Bryan Adams. I'm also doing a movie in December. So I'm very diverse in what I'm doing now. I think I'll be in front of the camera as well as in front of the microphone in the next couple of years.
That sounds fantastic. I'm of the generation where Billy Ray Cyrus means more to me than his daughter. I'm an achy breaky heart man.
Well, I am too, and Billy's been a really good friend for years. We have the same management. So, long may that continue. I really love to do things outside of the box. I love to do things that are different, and I never hope that changes.
Glenn Hughes, been an absolute pleasure to have you on Route 66. Thank you very much indeed. Best of luck with the tour, and I'll look forward to seeing you in Manchester on Thursday.
Hey, Manchester, come down and see Big Daddy. We love you.
Keep it rock and roll. Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter @Rockin' Jockin'.